She might be with the perfect guy. The problem is she has all these other men who imprinted on her before. Bree, here's the problem, right? So there's studies that show that for men, as we have more sexual partners, it doesn't affect us in our next relationship. What affects men is the number of options that they have. What causes men to cheat is options, because men do not look specifically for emotional connections with women that they cheat with. Men just want variety. That's it. For women, when they have a number of sexual partners, every additional sexual partner, the likelihood of them staying in a marriage plummets. And to the point where you get past 20, it's like 17% of women stay in a marriage after they've had 20 sexual partners. And so it becomes problematic for a woman who wants to maintain happy. And like, and the thing is, she might be with the perfect guy. The problem is she has all these other men who imprinted on her before. And so there's studies that show she has a more difficult time. In your hypothetical scenario, a guy's just cool with the fact that she did everything on social media.
Right.
But the problem is there's a couple of issues here. Number one, from his standpoint, like for instance, I could never do that because I'm a performance coach. I can't imagine my clients behind my back being like, hey, let me watch some videos of Michael's girlfriend fucking some other guy. It just, that will not work in my line of work.
Okay.
Period. And the other thing is, when women, this is going to sound really weird, and I don't mean this to be sexist, but it is absolutely true. When women get cheated on, their value actually doesn't drop. It doesn't. In fact, when women get cheated on, they break up. Every dude's like in their DMs.
Right.
When dudes get cheated on, their value does drop. I fucked your in some Gucci flip-flops. Do you remember that shit?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Their value. Everybody remembers the CEO of bodybuilder.com.
Yep.
His girl is fucking damn. You even remember the story. That is my point. When a man gets cheated on, his value does drop. Dude, dudes have gotten cheated on and lost their jobs before. They get, because you're getting dunked on. That's the problem. So, do you understand? Do you see what I'm saying?
No, I get
so
it.
It's like, as men, we have so much more to risk. Now we're with a woman who's been with multiple guys on her OF. Do you see the conundrum for us?
Of course.
Right? Whereas for us, it's like, and some women know this and some women don't. If a dude steps out, again, the studies show this. I know some women are going to disagree with this, but argue with the science. Don't argue with me. When men and women cheated, this is in the book, When Men Behave Badly by Dr. David Boss. Men who cheated and men who didn't cheat showed the same level of satisfaction in their marriage. When women cheated versus women who didn't cheat, 79% of the time they showed lower satisfaction in the marriage. When men cheated, it was not to end the relationship. When women cheated, it was to end the relationship. 83% of the time when women cheat, they fall in love with their partner.
How do you feel like that personally?
What do you mean?
Okay. So if I were to cheat, being a woman, it is to end things.
It is way, but it's way more deleterious to a relationship.
For a man, if you cheat, what is it because of?
It's just
variety.
variety.
Are you just lacking that?
No, it's just variety.
But
Here's the problem. Let's not say men in general. Let's say Leonardo DiCaprio, Hugh Hefner, Dan Bilzerian, whoever. When they or great example, Derek Jeter, the shortstop for the Yankees.
He was fuckboy?
He was with Jessica Biel and Jessica Alba and Mariah Carey when she was fine. He fucked all of them.
Yeah.
No one complained. Why? Because of his status, no one was complaining about Hugh Hefner having multiple partners because his status was so high. Now, later on, if I'm dating Holly Madison and I'm hearing stories about Holly willing to have threesomes and foursomes with Hef, but she won't do it with me, I'm not going to be with Holly. That's not like you're going to do that with him, but not with me. Okay. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay,
That's the problem.
So what about a normal everyday relationship? Like, take Bunny and I.
No. Hold on, but let me just stick with this. Do you understand? Hold on. Do you understand how, like, if I were to tell you George Clooney had multiple sexual partners, that's not even confusing to you.
Right.
You get that because of his status, right?
Yes.
You get that. So you were asking the question. But for some reason, George Clooney, who has the same psychology that I do, we're all men. We have the same firmware. That's what this book is about behind me. We always have the same firmware. For some reason, when a guy has high enough status, we don't care that JFK had sex with Marilyn Monroe. No one thinks less of John F. Kennedy because he had sex with Marilyn Monroe. And by the way, that is a fact. He did. There's Secret Service documents that show that she was at the residence. He is having sex, and Jacqueline Onassis Kennedy is fully aware of the fact that he's sleeping with Marilyn Monroe. None of us look down on JFK for that. Do you guys notice that?
I agree.
But when normal dude does it, why is he cheating on his wife? No, because he's just like JFK. Because he's just like Bill Clinton. Because he's just like Hugh Hefner. Because he's just like Dan Bilzerian.
So what makes it worse when a woman does it?
It's not worse or better. It's like saying, I have a hole in the ship. It's not worse or better. It's like the hole in the ship is going to cause the ship to sink. Which causes the end of a relationship to end more likely? A man who cheats comes back and treats his wife exactly the same. I'm not saying that's right because lying is always bad.
Okay.
Or the woman who cheats is like, this is the end of the relationship.
Right.
When I see like polyamorous couples, it's almost always the woman's decision to be polyamorous. It's almost never the dude's, unless he's bisexual. You never see the dude saying, let's be polyamorous. What you'll see is men say, let's be polygynous, be with multiple women, but you almost never see men say, I want to fuck other women and I'm going to watch you fuck other dudes and I'm a straight dude. It almost never happens, especially if they've had kids with this woman. And so when you see that, there is if your point is there is a double standard, 100% there's a double standard. And there's a double standard because I can bench press 350 pounds and you can't. There's a double standard because my testosterone is 17 times greater than yours.
Yeah.
And throughout history, my lifespan is 72 years. Yours is 78. There's more women on the planet than men because we die faster. We go put out fires. We go to war. We're far more likely to die from violent crime and 4 times as likely to commit suicide. So the point I'm trying to make is there is a double standard. My point is not one is right or one is wrong. One is more deleterious to a relationship than the other.
So I have a question with it. Do you think that women care more about sex than men do? In the aspect of, you know how they say that
sex in a vacuum, they're the same.
Men can have sex and not have any emotional ties to
Correct.
it, where
Some
women cannot.
No, some women can, but here's the thing. How can women have sex and not have an emotional tie to it? Do you know?
I have no idea.
How? Do you know how?
Well, I'm a woman. Everyone I have sex with, I have an emotional tie to.
So, but if a girl who's a porn star who's been with like 200 dudes, does she have an emotional tie to all of them?
See, that's what's confusing about it.
But why is it that she can't? No, you can answer your own question. Why is that? Anybody? Because a woman having an emotional tie to everyone she has sex with is a superpower that women have. When they've been with enough dudes, they lose the superpower. Men being able to have sex without having emotion is not a good thing. It's just it's an evolutionary adaptation.
You think that's from them having sex with too many people?
Yes, 100%. That's what it is. Remember what I told you before. If a woman's had 20 plus sexual partners, it's a 17% chance that she stays in a marriage.
Bunny hasn't had sex with that many people.
Okay.
Like less people than I have.
Fewer.
He thinks that he can cut off the emotions with sex.
Okay.
Why is that when I can't?
Because he has 17 times as much testosterone as you. That's why. It's firmware. It's psychological.
That's interesting.
Okay. Again, when they do studies of men and women, this is a tendency. It's not 100% of the time. When women cheat, men ask, "Did you fuck him?" When men cheat, women ask, "Do you love her?"
Yeah.
For a woman, the idea is, am I losing the provisioning, providing, procurement, and protection from this man? From a man, it's like, is another penis going in my girl and he's going to have a baby with her?
Well,
because she's going to have a baby with some other dude. That's his genetic investment that he's put in. And while this doesn't make sense today because we have genetic testing, we didn't 50,000 years ago, and that's when our code was written. Mammals are 178 million years old. Hominids are 3 million years old. Homo sapiens are between 300 and 200,000 years old.
Well, and you know what? It's funny. I'm not argumentative on it. I
love this.
I'm honestly really curious about it.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
I love this.
It doesn't make any sense to me, the male brain, just like our brain doesn't make any sense to you. But there are stats and there are facts.
I think your brain makes perfect sense. You have more.
That.
Well, but your investment. Like if you have sex with the wrong dude in the Pleistocene epoch, you die. Mm-hmm. If you had sex with the wrong dude, no one's going to take care of you and your kid, and you're going to die. You're going to be ostracized from the church. You have so much more to lose from having sex with the wrong guy. If we have sex with the wrong girl, we're off somewhere else hunting.
Right.
There's it's like 60 seconds of investment from us versus nine months from you. Of course, women have to be picky. And by the way, if women weren't picky, we'd still be living in caves.
He gives me so much shit for that. He's like, you're the pickiest woman I know.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's great to be picky.
Why not?
No, but like your value goes up because you're picky. There's nothing wrong with being picky.